Yeah.
So you don't know how they'd handle bear?
Fair enough. We'll try to fight it. Just tell you, I love the fact that a law enforcement agency had to tell people, if you see the bear, do not approach the bear, ... even for a photograph with it, as if that would be the reason. That's it. That's the reason.
Hey, Billy.
There's a bear.
Billy, that's a bear over there.
How about a selfie? What do you say there, Bobby the Black Bear? What about a selfie?
See, you haven't been to Lawrence County, but just a brief moment. So they don't want a picture with that bear. They want to ride that bear.
I mean, I love.
I'm a little bit concerned though, and I always am. You know, when I hear noises in the woods, I don't know what that is. I've lived here nearly half my life. I'm still a city boy at heart. When I hear noises, I'm like, whatever. I'm still a city boy at heart. You can give me that look all you want. I grew up in the shadows of Columbus, Ohio's downtown, on the poor side where people die and stuff every day in the streets. Yeah. So that kind of stuff I can handle because I'm used to that. But the noises in the woods, I don't know what that is. And now I got to worry about it might be a bear. So what do you do, Rob, when a bear comes rushing out of the woods?
So, few things about this. Number one, on a scale of 1 to 10, how city boy is Lonzo? Go like a 3.5.
You have no clue. You have no clue.
Dude, I have seen your compound. No.
By the way, where you live is not what's in here. All right. And I did not hit myself hard this time because, we weren't talking about the Bears. So
we are.
Eventually, yes.
So, but we'll put that aside for a later segment. Number 2. How to say this kindly? So evolution is real. Natural selection is real. And if you were the type of person who sees a bear walking around, I don't know, anywhere that's not a zoo, and your thought is, man, that's kind of cool, I think I'm going to go take a selfie with the bear. You are just further evidence that natural selection is real. You are just further evidence that evolution is real. I'm going to go ahead and say to every law enforcement agency across these great United States, stop warning people not to take selfies with bears. Just let it happen. Just let it happen. There's enough people on planet Earth. If there is a person out there who thinks to themselves, by goodness, wouldn't it be cool if I could throw up an Instagram story hanging out with the black bear, to the point that they are willing to roll up on a bear? Just let it happen. We can afford it.
All right. I just want to also point out there's a lot of firepower in Lawrence County. So there's no fear there. That's the thing. There's no fear. I'll take a picture of the bear and then I'll shoot him. More than likely is what the guy's thinking.
Don't shoot the bear.
I don't know if I don't believe bear are protected species. So I am curious, if a bear rolls up into your yard and is threatening your Labradoodle, is it okay to go ahead and pull out the shotgun or machine gun or whatever you have in Lawrence County? Cannon. I've heard cannons. I guarantee you I've heard cannons, and take care of the bear.
So, a couple of things. Number one, I've been around black bears my entire life. They live throughout Florida. I live up in the panhandle of Florida, which is known for the beach, but has a lot of pine forest as well. Black bears are not threatening your Labradoodle. Black bears are afraid of your Labradoodle. There's
some vicious Labradoodles in Lawrence County.
No. I mean, yes, I believe that. I'm sure Lawrence County is known for the high population of Labradoodles. If a bear
mullets and Labradoodles, they go together. They just do.
If a bear rolls up on you, just close the nearest door and wait a minute. It'll go away. However, if you get the intuition, if you get the feeling, if you come to the belief when you see a black bear that I want a selfie with that bear, my advice to you would be, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, do it. Sure. I'm sure it's awesome. You would be the coolest dude in school if you had a picture with a bear. If you see a bear and decide you want to approach it for a picture, my advice is absolutely go bananas.
So you pointed out that there are a lot of bear in Florida. Still, let's say you're visiting Lawrence County. Say you come to my house for some weird reason, and you just happen to walk out. You're on your way to go back home, and a bear comes out of the woods. What do?
Close the nearest available door between me and it and just hang out for a minute. They'll go away. But black bears ain't trying to eat you. They're going to forage, then they're going to leave.
Are they carnivores?
Yes.
So they could, in theory, eat you.
I could, in theory, get hit in the parking lot by a car, but that's a real easy way to prevent that from happening.
I had to look and see if they're here
them.
yet, if your buddy's here yet. Because if someone's going to hit you in the parking lot, that's who it's going to be.
100%. 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. It's Monday. So good to me. Bada, bada. My voice is shot, Zoe.
Oh, I've noticed.
Can you tell?
Yes.
Would you like to know why?
I'm guessing several different sporting events.
Several different sporting events.
I saw pictures.
Several different sporting events, including on Saturday night, elimination game. Greenville Swamp Rabbits have their backs against the wall against the Florida Everblades, the number one team in the playoffs. 10 minutes left to play. The Bits are down 2-0. 5 minutes to play. The Bits score. It's 2-1. Uh-oh, getting a little rowdy. A minute later, the Everblades score. 3-1. We got about 4.5 left to play. Crap. 3 minutes left to play. Swamp Rabbits score 3-2. Okay, it's interesting, but we're running out of time, boyos. Get it done. Lonzo, about $1 left in the game. Bits score, it's 3-3. We go to overtime. But it's playoff overtime hockey. Playoff overtime hockey, no shootouts. You play until someone scores and you have a winner. 5-on-5, full regulation hockey.
How big is the bench for hockey?
Judging by the fact that with 10 minutes left to play in the second overtime, when the goal was scored, and about half the dudes just immediately fell to the ice, not as big as those boys would have wanted. I think 15 plus 2 keepers. 20-minute overtime, sudden death. First one to score wins. We go through 20 minutes of overtime, number one. Now, this happens every now and then. When I go to enough sporting events and places that I work, eventually, Alonzo, somebody will hand me a microphone and be like, hey, can you do broadcasting? Can you hype up this crowd? And of course, I'm an attention whore, so the answer was, yeah, I'll do that. So I'm on the mic with a minute left to play in the third period, all through the first overtime, all through the second overtime, and doing the best I can. Get up, get loud, let's go. Woke up yesterday. Not great. But
it's a good thing you didn't have a nationally syndicated radio show on Sunday.
Correct.
You had it on Saturday,
Correct.
so you had enough voice for that.
Correct and accurate. Correct and accurate. Got up yesterday, sounded terrible, but the Bits stave off elimination. They travel now down back to Florida, and they've got to win too. They've got to go back to back. They've got to win a pair against Florida in their house if they want to move on. The Bits, unfortunately, overall did not protect the house. They dropped one Wednesday. They dropped one Friday, but facing elimination, they did grab one on Saturday. So because they lost back-to-back here, they've got to go win back-to-back there. If they can do that, it's on to Jacksonville for the second round and at least 2 more games right here in Greenville. So we'll be following that, letting you know how that shapes up. On Friday night, The Greenville Triumph were at home. Hashtag bang the drum. Hashtag together we triumph. And they did. Got the first regular season dub of the year. Knocked off the Red Wolves of Chattanooga 1-0 at the house at Legacy early. That's 3 points on the record. And the USL 1 standings are very interesting right now because you don't have a lot of points spread out. From 1st to 11th in League One, there's a grand total of 4 points difference. Welcome to the league. Richmond, Tormenta, Charlotte, and Chattanooga Central Valley all have 7. 5 for Union Omaha, 4 for Hailstorm, North Carolina FC, the Triumph, and Tucson. 3 for Ford Madison. The Triumph right now with a win, a draw, and 2 losses to their record. So we're going to keep an eye on that for you and break more down as we get to the end. It is going to be a stacked show today. We got NBA playoffs to get into. Which, by the way, when we come back, Lonzo, I got a question for you as a dad, as a sports dad that I want to ask. And it's one that I find very interesting because on one hand, I kind of get it. And on the other hand, I'm like, dude, I feel like no. Ja Morant and his Memphis Grizzlies yesterday gave Steph Curry and his Warriors everything they wanted and a little bit more. And Ja, with seconds left to play, has an opportunity with an an underneath left-hand scoop layup that if it drops, the Grizz win. He drives, he goes up and under, just misses the game winner. The Warriors hold on to win by 1. But it was what Ja's dad did after the game that I kind of sat there scratching my chin a little bit. Like, are we cool with this? Because Ja Morant's dad has been everything LeVar Ball wished he was. Everybody liked Ja's dad. Seemed like the cool dad, the drunk uncle at the barbecue we all wanted to hang out with. But then he did what he did yesterday, and I'm curious as to how we feel about it. So I'll talk about that when we come back. My name is Rob Brown, the great one, the professor of perfection, the sultan of swag, the alpha and the omega of the fan upstates on the other side. We're going to talk about Ja's dad when we come back. Obviously, we got to talk NFL draft, how the Panthers come out. I got to tell you, pretty damn good if you ask me. We're going to break that down and more. Rob Lonzo, the Rob Brown Show's on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate.
Prisma.
All right, stream. Good morning. What's up? Josh, welcome in, buddy. Yeah, what did you do? 15 players drafted? That's insane. What, 5 in the first round, 6 in the first round? That's nuts. But how do you tell me Georgia's going to be as good next year when you get that many guys in the draft? Yeah, I saw the pictures, man. How'd you do, Josh? How'd you do? New drum heads sound good from what I understand. LeVar talks about his sons with confidence the same way that Chael Sonnen talks about himself. Good reference, bringing the world together. I like it. Bingo. You can come in and say hi.
Hey.
Not often. About once a month, just to keep us tame.
15 seconds.
Yep, not a noon. Good to meet you, man. The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. It is the Fan Upstate. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. So yesterday, the Warriors of Golden State taking on the Grizzlies of Memphis. And first off, can I just say, I don't know how much of this series, one game in, how much of the last series you got an opportunity to watch, but I would like to go on the record and say Ja Morant is a dude, Lonzo. He is a freaking player, man. I love this guy. What a baller.
This is hard for me because I have a no Golden State policy. So
well, he plays for Memphis.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I don't want to watch Golden State.
Oh, you mean like a don't even watch?
Yeah,
Golden
yeah.
State policy.
So there's a dress involved. I just unless they're in the finals, I'm going to stay away from Golden State unless it looks like they're going to lose. And you know, they look pretty good right now, even though it was close.
117-116 winners were the Warriors yesterday. Did it without Draymond Green for the most part. And let me just go ahead and say, Draymond Green got tossed yesterday. Not because what he did was a definite flagrant two. Draymond Green got tossed because of his reputation as a guy who does that. All right? Let's just call that what it is. Draymond got tossed not because what Draymond Green did was unacceptable or was egregious or anything like that. I mean, it was. He hooked a dude's jersey and took him straight down to the floor, and you can't do that. But Draymond got tossed, Zoe, not because that was the most egregious foul of all time, but because he's Draymond Green. And once Dre gets away with that, the next foul is worse. It always has been. Of course he got tossed.
Well, I mean, the refs are going to look for him, and they should, because of his reputation. When you do things so many times, I hope he's not surprised.
Yeah, I don't know how anybody would be. Like,
And not only has he been kicked out of games, he's been kicked out of games where it was really important for him to be there, and this could have been one of those.
Oh, it was one of the. I mean, they were a Ja Morant scoop layup away from taking an 0-1 series deficit. Of course. They needed Draymond yesterday. Just 17 minutes into the game, he gets booted. And again, I didn't have a problem with it. I'm watching the talking heads on the big networks yesterday, and they're like, it's a playoff game. You can't toss him there. Oh, yeah, the hell you can. Yeah, when you put your hand inside another guy's shirt and pull him face down to the turf, you absolutely can. If that was a WWE finisher, we'd call it a good one. Slamming a dude's face into the ground, really good way to end that, right? Imagine if the hands aren't extended and he can't stop himself and he goes orbital right into the floor. You're talking about ending a dude's series career.
I don't know. I saw Giannis knock a guy down yesterday and then say, what? I didn't do anything.
Yeah, but again, there's knocking down in a basketball sense versus hand inside a shirt and going like that, which is, again, not cool. It's just not cool. It's just not cool. Yeah, it's just not cool. Anyway, Draymond deserved to get booted there because once Draymond gets away with a foul in a series, he just keeps ramping up. Sorry, Draymond, you want to have the reputation as an enforcer, then you live with that reputation. And that reputation states occasionally you're going to come across an official who goes, I'm not letting you get away with it. You've earned that reputation. You're proud of that reputation. That reputation cost you a spot in that game yesterday. Deal with it.
All right, so I'm just watching it over and over again. It wasn't that bad. I mean, all things considered, not even Draymond-like. He just grabbed his shirt and kind of pulled him forward. I know he's going full force up in the air and just kind of like, no, kid, you ain't doing that. That's kind of what he did.
Oh, it 100% is what he did, right? Like he got the what was it? I'm pulling up the replay of it as well so that I can be fair when I break it down. And Draymond was a hustle monster in this game, no doubt about it. My guy was working hard. But and listen, I don't even think it was necessarily intentional, right? I think he got him by accident because you can see as soon as Ja goes to the ground, it wasn't Ja. Who was it that he took down? Was it Jenkins? I don't remember. I think it was Jenkins. Anyway, soon as he goes down, and again, I'm watching the replay. The left hand, though, comes down across the shoulder, grabs the jersey, like the sleeve part, the outer sleeve part of the jersey, and pulls.
Yeah, it's more of a yank, but and there's
a yank is a pull.
No, a yank is like it's the opposite of a thrust. It's a
pull?
No, it's a quick grab.
It's a
quick. It was quick. It wasn't like I'm gonna pull you and sling you. He just pulled him real quick. And because of his momentum, it made it look worse than what it was.
Oh, listen, I got it up on the screen right now. For those of you that have not joined us in the Facebook stream, facebook.com/TheFanUpstate, twitter.com/TheFanUpstate, or get at us on YouTube. Search The Rob Brown Show, subscribe, and you can watch the show live every day. So here is the play right here. All right, we're going to get a sideline angle. Left hand's going to swipe down. That is a jersey grab. All right. Do we agree so far?
Yeah, it's a snatch.
Which is a grab and a yank is a pull. And look how far out that is. That's not a gentle tug. That's a heavy yank.
I'm not defending Draymond by any means, but it was not a.
He still got him. My man's on the ground,
right.
And he's still grabbing shirt.
He did not want him to get hurt. Once he grabbed him, he helped him to the ground because he didn't want him. If he slung him, it would have hurt the guy.
Listen, as I said,
he realized what he had done. It could have been worse, is what I'm saying. You can see that he realized he yanked him out of the air, and so he helped him to the ground. It could have been worse.
For the record, yeah, it could have been dramatically worse. And I literally was in the process of saying, hey, look, at least Draymond kind of held up on him to prevent him from going nose first into the floor. However, do you know what would have definitely prevented him from going nose first into the floor? Not grabbing his jersey and slinging him face first towards it.
We all have errors in judgment, and it could have been just his hand got caught up. I mean, we see that happen all the time in football where your hand gets caught up in a jersey and you
said every offensive lineman ever when watching film with Coach. No, Coach, I wasn't holding him. My hand just got caught up in his jersey. I don't know how it happened. Okay, 54, we get it.
I think maybe they should have shown some leniency about how gently he led him to the ground.
Yeah. You can't with Draymond. Now, here's the other question I had about that game. We get to the very end.
If it's any other player, do they get kicked out? And I know it's his.
No, I literally already
said.
Yeah,
I know it's his fault because of his reputation.
Yep.
But any other player, they're like, yeah, you stay in the game.
That's a tech one. They're calling that a flagrant one. That player's getting 2 shots and the ball. Plus, it's a shooting foul, so he's getting 4 shots and the ball. Anybody else, that's a tech one. Memphis is getting 4 shots plus the ball. And Draymond's playing, or whoever else is playing on a tech one, knowing the second one gets you booted. Sure, but it was not any other player. It was not any other player. It was Draymond, a guy that is known for exactly that. Once you earn the reputation, you live with the consequences of it. You want to be the enforcer? That's cool. That's fine. But realize you have drawn eyes onto yourself. Welcome to the game.
By the way, Dark Chosen has a great point. If snatch and grab are the same thing, why do they say snatch and grab?
I don't know. Why do they say head over heels when your head is always over your heels? It's a dumb expression.
I think he helped me prove my point.
No, he didn't. He made the point. There's Anyway, listen. Here's what I wanted to get to. And so when I saw this, I immediately thought of you. Because you're a sports dad. You've had not one but 2 cheering that have played sports throughout the years. So, Ja Morant's dad has kind of been catching camera time. T. Morant. You got T and his son Ja. So T. Morant, who is he's a good-looking younger guy. Right? He's a good-looking younger guy. T. Morant, who has been hanging out courtside for his kid's game, was doing so again yesterday. T is everything that LeVar Ball wishes he was. People like him. He's fun. He's enthusiastic. Has never been anything but supportive of his kid. Has never tried to influence his kid's career. Isn't trying to build brands off of his kid's name, etc., etc. T was hanging out courtside again. And T's got a little bit of a fan club built up because, again, young, fun, isn't trying to build off his kid's name. He's just there supporting Ja as a dad, which we all get. But yesterday got interesting because after the game was over, Ja missed a game-winning layup. Yeah? Missed a game-winning layup. Clock expires. Buzzer hits. Ja leans up against the rim. The basket. What's the name for it? The
stanchion.
Yeah, stanchion, whatever it's called. And he's got that face of a kid who just lost, right? That layup's 2 inches left. They win the game. They're up 1-0 on Steph Curry, but he missed the layup. It wasn't wide open, but missed the layup he had hit 9 times already in that game. Missed it for a game winner. And Ja you could see he was defeated. He was heartbroken. And then the camera turns and they find T. And what is T doing, Zoe? dapping it up with Steph and Clay and Jordan and the Warriors. He's over there hugging Steph, and he says something to him. He does the old wrestler pull him in, and no idea what he said. But then Steph walks, and he goes and he daps it up with Clay. And then Clay walks, and he goes and he daps it up with Jordan Poole. All the while, his own son's on the other side of the court, standing there, trying to work his way through to process the fact that he could have put the Golden State Warriors down 1-0, but he missed a layup. While Pops is over there dapping it up with the bad guys. Fair or foul on T. Morant? Do I need to get off the T. Morant bandwagon now, Zoe?
Absolutely foul. I mean, your son just missed a heartbreak. You're over. Come on. That's just, unless you were friends with them before, which I'm guessing he's probably not. I'm guessing he's getting some privileges because his son's out there playing. You can't do that. You can't. I mean, you can say it's because of good sportsmanship and things like. No, it's not. You do not do that. Would it have been better if he went Draymond Green on Steph Curry and helped him to the ground?
Helped him to the ground. Assisted his fall. Sir, you seem to be on your way to the ground. Allow me to assist. I don't know, man. I've liked T. I've enjoyed it, T. I get it. I'm not a dad.
So if you are Ja and you're getting your dad tickets, do you make sure he doesn't have tickets for the next game?
Enjoy section 320 for tomorrow.
Oh no, he's not coming.
Yeah.
He's not. That's me. If I'm Ja, he ain't coming.
I don't know, man.
You're out for the rest of the series.
Yeah. No. You want to hang out with Steph and Clay and Jordan? Why don't you see if they'll get you some courtside tickets, Dad?
The thing is, they probably would.
Oh, they absolutely would.
Yeah, just because it would be funny. But yeah, that's just
to get in Ja's head a little more.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, come on. You know the cameras are on you. You want the cameras on you. That's why you did all that stuff. Your son's over there, could have been celebrating a win, but he's over there missing a shot. You can't do that. You cannot.
I had to tell you, Ja Morant's that guy. I love Ja Morant. I love watching him play. I love his game. I love everything about his game. I love Ja Morant. I have been on the Team Morant bandwagon because I'm like, that's a dad, right? This guy's proud as hell of his kid. He's wearing his kid's jersey. He's showing up to the games. He's not making it about himself, right? LeVar, are you listening? LeVar, it's not about you. It's not about you. We're not tuning in for the LeVar Ball show. Stop. Let your kids be your kids. Let your kids go succeed. I'm not saying you can't be there for them. I'm not saying you can't be with them. I'm not saying you can't call them and talk with them and be a part of it, but it is their career. And T has been that. T's been great. But I got to tell you, I was a little taken aback yesterday when the ball game is over. Ja is very clearly heartbroken because he just missed a layup that would have given his team a 1-0 series lead over Golden State. Probably the odds-on title favorite of the teams remaining. Could have been up 1-0 in his house, missed a layup, and then he turns around and he sees Pops going, "What up, son?" with Steph Curry and Clay and Jordan and the rest of the gang, on the other team. Come on, T. Your boy's over there. Your boy's over there heartbroken, and you're dapping it up with the guys who just beat him. Yowza. I don't know, man. That kind of bums me out a little bit, to tell you the truth. It really does.
Can he redeem himself? I mean, once that's already done, I don't think he can fix that.
Yeah, because the thing that we loved about you was that you were just everybody's fun uncle on the sideline the whole time, right? Like you were just there living it up, enjoying your pop or your kid being your kid, enjoying being Pops to the most prominent NBA player in the playoffs so far, not named Giannis. We all loved every bit of that. And then you did that? Yikes. Come on, T. Your boy's over there hurting, and you're dapping it up with the guys who made him hurt. Yowza. Let's take a break. We'll come back. We got NFL draft grades to give out. How about Odell Beckham deciding, been a few minutes since anybody talked about me. A lot of receivers changed teams this week. Not me. We're going to get into what's going on with Oh Hell Odell and more. Coming up, I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. You're listening to South Carolina Broadcasters Association Sports Talk Radio Show of the Air. You're listening to The Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Right, Zach, but the expression is head over heels in love. I'm always head over heels. Every time I've been in love has been, okay, that's not true, but that's also not the point. Head over heels is how you just normally are. So why is it special to be head over heels?
Head over heels is basically you got knocked off your feet.
That would be heels over head. Head over heels. I'm literally head over heels right now.
What if you're rolling?
Then you're head over heels, then heels over head, then head over heels, then heels over head.
So it's at least 50% right if you're rolling.
Not really, because you're only giving me one expression. If that was the expression, you'd be like, I'm rolling over in love, which would make more sense. I've been Draymond Greened in love.
Let down gently.
Thrown down violently to the floor in love. Trey, if the worst song that either one of us puts in your head is Tears for Fears, you could have done worse.
How dare you imply that's a bad song?
I didn't imply.
I was going to say that's one of my favorite songs of all time.
It could be
okay,
worse.
all right, because I got some tone in there that made it sound like you were going to diss that song. That was my depressed and lonely 20-something go-to song, I'll have you know. Just 4 days away from Doctor Strange 2. Will it disappoint?
Told Courtney she's got a week to be prepared because I'm going this weekend. And she hasn't watched any of it. So I'm like, if you go with me to watch it in theaters before you've watched everything else, I will not be taking questions. I will not be fielding questions at this time.
I don't know. What movie do you watch as a refresher? But I guess you watch Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's the way you go.
And WandaVision.
Yeah, true.
The last 3 episodes of WandaVision. For the record, Internet, the last 3 episodes of WandaVision, if you have already watched all of WandaVision. If you have not watched all of WandaVision, watch all of WandaVision.
Yeah, because each episode is a progression, and it's an awesome progression in in TV, actually. The history of TV. Starting in black and white. Hitting all the decades.
You need to watch What If. We don't know. I'm suspecting there will be references.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Think so?
From the trailers, unless it's a smoke screen, yeah. There are 2 to 3 different things that were touched on in What If, including the shield that we saw in the latest teaser.
The Rob Brown Show is back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Welcome in. I'm Rob. He is Lonzo. Wrapping up hour number 1. I don't know if you know this, Lonzo. You may or may not. Giannis Antetokounmpo is very, very good at basketball. Like, really good at basketball. 101-89 winners. Milwaukee over a Boston team that everybody was telling me before in game 1, Boston is about to put Giannis down. This Celtics team is too good. As if somehow Milwaukee didn't win a title last year with almost the exact same team. Yeah, Middleton's been banged up. But this team in the last 2 years has not just dropped games because there's been more individual superstars on the other side. 101-89 in a game that wasn't even particularly that close. Giannis, 24 points, 13 rebounds, 12 assists, and a pair of blocks to go with it.
There's also double
in game 1.
There's an extra 2 that wasn't counted. I was watching the third quarter, and there's an extra 2 that wasn't counted. I am curious why the announcers in all sports can't say groin. Why you got to say midsection? Giannis' foot went heavily into another man's groin. And he was on the ground for.
Did he lose it?
Giannis's feet look pretty big. It was lost for a while, I'm guessing, but dude was on his face on the court for a long period of time. He gets up and they don't take him out, and he's just limping around and he's just moving around and trying to figure out what's wrong with him. And then they come back, and then the announcers, then when they show, it was Doris Burke, and I forget who the play-by-play guy was. When they show the actual replay,
took a shot to the midsection.
Took a foot to the midsection. Yeah. No. He got kicked in the groin.
Yeah.
By probably like a size 25 shoe. That's going to take a while to recover from.
Took a boot to the midsection. Nope. That is not the midsection. His lower pelvis region. I mean, I
You,
get it.
you and I both have been in broadcasting a long time. You've actually been on the TV side. Why can't they say groin? Because that's where he got kicked.
So here's what I got told when I was doing boxing. And granted, my boxing stuff was on pay-per-view, so it was a little less regulated. But what I got told in boxing is you do call that a groin, right? Like if that's where you take a shot, you may call it a groin, or you may just refer to it as a low blow. Takes a low blow.
Right. They could have did that. I'd have been okay with that with a low blow. But midsection, no, it's a little bit lower than that.
You think it's
more highbrow to go midsection,
Yeah.
I suppose.
As a dude broadcaster, what do you think the ramifications would be if you were like, he just got kicked right in the stones? Like, who gets angry at that? Who is going to if you heard that and you called into the FCC to complain about it?
If Shaq or Barkley or one of those guys are doing
we would all
color,
laugh like hell.
yeah, they would probably say that for sure.
If not worse. Oh man.
It just really bothered me. I mean, they whipped their butts, obviously, that score, but come on, just say groin. All right, just say groin. It's okay.
And on today's edition of Weird Things Lonzo has a grudge about. I don't know. To answer your question, genuinely as a former TV guy, I do not know. I don't know. Because I got told to call it that. If a low blow happens, you may refer to it as a low blow or a shot to the groin. Midsection. No, man. I don't double over in pain and fear for my life from a shot to the midsection.
And we know, and most guys know, that the pain varies and it can go away and come back. And
oh yeah,
my dude was struggling up and down the court, and they finally took him out. They took a timeout, and then he was fine. Coming back on the court, I was like, yep. Know what happened there.
Nope.
And then took a shot to the midsection.
Shot to the midsection. Nah, dude. He got kicked in the boys. And it's going to happen. It happens to every one of us at some point. It does. And I'm telling you, a full-blown click or just a little flick, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's why I played a dude. There was a dude that played at Tate High School. Same high school that Don Sutton went to, the Atlanta Braves great. Lonzo, this guy had to be 6'3", 6'4", about my height. Hated playing this guy because he was very, very good at waiting till you go up for a rebound. And then when you did, he would just, Lonzo, just give you a little tap, a little love tap, right in the love spot. Just a little.
Cup check.
Yep. Just a little. And I'll tell you right now, that aimed precisely can be every bit.
I'm uncomfortable every time you hit that because I'm reliving many
He's
times.
talking about the equipment, ladies and
No.
gentlemen.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I'm actually, I am.
Yeah. He'd give you just that little pop, and he would wait. Because, you'd go up for the rebound, you'd have both hands in the air. You are defenseless, and he'd give you just that little flick. Right, and you're in the air. And he would always know how to position himself so the ref wouldn't see it. And it didn't matter what you did. You take a shot, you come down, kick the rock out, but play never stopped, right? Because there was no foul. And then the whistle blow, and you'd head to the ref. Hey, stripes, you do me a favor. Number 52 over there, every time I go up for a board, flips me in the you-know-what. And the ref goes, what, Lonzo? I'll watch for it. I'll look for it. I haven't seen it, but I'll keep an eye out. But that's the point. He knew how to get away with it. And I know there's dudes in the NBA that are good at this still.
By the way, I don't think Giannis did it on purpose. But
I don't think Giannis did it on purpose either. It's going to happen. Especially when you're wearing canoes for feet, for shoes. Hate that guy. Hated that guy at Tate. Hated that guy. 3 times a year we'd play Tate High School. 2 in the regular season, 1 in the playoffs. 3 years I had to go up against this guy. Lonzo, I don't know where he is or what he's doing now, but I hope his life sucks.
He's a gynecologist.
Golly. I hope he's a proctologist because takes one to know one. I hope that he married his high school sweetheart and then she cheated on him with anybody else. I hated that guy.
Wow. I guess you did hate that guy.
Genuinely.
You had that. I mean, that's true hate. To wish that on someone, yeah.
3 years, 3 times a year, this big old doofus would spend 60 minutes flicking me in the junk so that he could out-rebound me. You know how much that sucks? A lot.
Did he out-rebound you?
I don't know. Midway through the third quarter, I didn't give a damn about stats anymore. I cared about, am I going to make out of this? Am I going to get out of this game still physically capable of having children?
You know, Rob, throwing a bow is a perfectly acceptable answer to what was done to you. So you get kicked out of the game.
Oh, there was one scrap between the two of us. And of course, that was the moment that the ref was right there on top of the action. Because it started with, you come down with the rebound, Lonzo, and you'd keep it over your head. Keep the up. No. I'd come down and that ball's in the face and the up. And that's the one time the ref's like, son, you can't do that. Really? He just flipped me. Oh. I'm having like flashbacks. Terrible. Ugh. Hour number 2, and we will talk much less about critical wounds. He's Lonzo, I'm Rob. This is the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Oh. That's the kind of radio that wins you awards, boys.
Absolutely. See, the difference between me and you is I was wrestling a guy, he scratched my eyeball. My coach takes me aside, don't you do it. Don't you do it. And I was in down position, elbow to his nose, blood everywhere. Takes me aside and goes, I told you not to do that. And he made sure he put himself between me and the referee. He was laughing the entire time. And I did the old, what? What? I ain't did nothing. Hated that guy. And he still won after they cleaned up the blood. Because he was like a little bowling ball. When he went in his stance, he was like 4 foot tall. I just couldn't get a hold of him. We also had a line coach that taught us a play where you took your fist and went right up into the groin.
No, it's not okay.
It's not.
It's not okay.
I never did it, but I saw some other people do it. Which in hindsight is like, man, you don't tell high school kids to do that stuff.
Yeah, that's straight up not okay.
So the reason why I'm bringing that up, maybe his coach taught them to do that.
Well, his coach, first off, I get that. I'll tell you right now, if my coach was like, I want you to
Yeah.
end shot this guy, I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. I would have gotten kicked off a team because I'm not hitting another dude below the belt for a sports ball game. Maybe I'm just not a winner.
You're not a team player, Rob. You took one for the team. You should give one back. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, if the pitcher's throwing inside, I will stand in there and take a hit. All right?
Yeah, who needs anything on your face? I mean, Down there, though, that's a totally different story.
What?
Another one of those that's really good, but falls outside of the window. But next year.
Oh, our demo reel next year is going to be lit.
Next year, we got all kinds of stuff. I spent a couple hours Friday finding a ton of stuff. I went through every show for the entire year. I need to change how I do some things to make it easier to find stuff. My youngins over on Word have started a document that they update every day with all the live shows on it.
Youngins?
My youngins.
Like T2?
My Tims. Yes.
Both the Tims?
Yes. And I think I'm going to start doing that because I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea.
As opposed to just written stuff that I keep throwing away instead of saving. At least it'll always be there. Yeah. Although I just went back on Omni and went through each podcast and found things that I thought were interesting. So there's like, I don't know, a couple hours worth of stuff to whittle down. And still awaiting your stuff. So
yes, you will have some of it this week, I promise. I went into this weekend completely underestimating between Saturday's show and 3 different sports games and the girlfriend not being in town, so having to run the household, how much I had to do.
When you say run the household, you just got to take care of the dog? Is that what you
how much it takes out of me to clean a litter box?
Forgot about the cat.
Yeah! I hope that guy lives in Jacksonville now. I hope the guy lives in Jacksonville and not even Jack's Beach, not even the cool part. I hope he's dead center Jacksonville, downtown. And I hope he's a Jags fan.
I apologize for bringing up deep-seated hatreds and old memories that cause you pain.
Nothing but bitter. Nothing but being bitter. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Our numero dos of the Rob Brown Show goes now. Why aren't you yelling, Rob? Because I can't. Because I can't. I was telling Lonzo during the break. We're not BSing you when we tell you how much we love this job. That's not me blowing smoke. It's not me up to the boss.
Don't do that. That's nasty.
ASMR, Lonzo. It's not me kissing butt. I genuinely love this gig. And part of the reason that I genuinely love this gig is how invested, how involved I get in the local sports scene. So this past weekend, the lady friend went out of town. She went down to St. Petersburg with some of her girlfriends for a weekend, which meant I got run of the house from Friday through today. So Friday, Wednesday night, last Wednesday, it's playoff hockey season. By the way, of course, you're getting a Stanley Cup breakdown later on in the show. I don't do a lot of hockey in the regular season. I don't do a lot of regular season NHL hockey because as much as I hate to admit it, the audience for that is very small, right? Every now and then we talk a little Hurricanes hockey. Every now and then we talk a little Predators hockey. And now that those two teams are in the playoffs, it's time to talk NHL playoffs because this is when people tune in. Anyway, Wednesday night, Went to a Bits game. Friday night, had to make the... I hate when local sports falls on the same night, but had a Triumph game at home, had a Rabbits game at the house. Elected to go to the Swamp Rabbits game, not because I don't love the Triumph, you guys know that, but because it's playoff time. If the roles were reversed and it was a Triumph playoff game versus a regular season Bits game, I'd have been at Legacy early. But had a hockey game Friday night, had a hockey game Saturday night, had a 4-hour nationally syndicated sports talk radio show on Saturday to do. And then, you know what I did on Sunday, Lonzo? Here's a sentence I've never said before. I tilled a garden on Sunday. You ever used a tiller before?
I absolutely have used a tiller before.
Tillers are made to do two things. Number one, tear up the ground, get down to the fertile soil so you can plant a garden. And number two, break the human will to live.
Gotta be. I've never tilled in South Carolina with all the clay. It's got to be pretty interesting. I have dug ditches, but I haven't used a tiller. So
I use a tiller. The lady friend has gotten very big into gardening, which is fine by me. That's her thing. That's cool. I got sports. She's got gardening. I'll help.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah.
So.
She goes with me to hockey and soccer games. I go outside and help her garden. And I thought, I'll till up because it's not even that big. She's building like I think 10 foot by 10 foot or 11 foot by 11 foot vegetable garden out in the backyard. Well, let me till this thing up for her while she's down in St. Pete. So she'll come back. So she's not in town. I can get away with saying this. Don't any of y'all tell her. I'm like, all right. She comes back. I've tilled up her 11 by 11 foot vegetable garden. I've gotten the rocks out of it. It's ready to put some veggies down and plant.
Did she rope it off before? So you knew the right.
I knew exactly where it was going.
So there's no shot that you did it in the wrong spot.
No.
Okay.
I went to Lowe's. I got some little yard marker flags. I said, I want you to tell me exactly. I even put the little flags down in the square around it, right? She told me it needs to be this depth. Not only did I go to that depth, I went an inch deeper just to make sure we're good. Because I thought to myself, Zoe, we got another Triumph game coming up in 2 weeks. Once the Swamp Rabbits go down and they win 2 down in Florida, we got a series coming up against Jacksonville. I'm going to be in the house when we take on Jacksonville because I hate Jacksonville. I thought if I till this garden up, get this whole thing done, I'll be in good shape. I get some brownie points for when she comes back to the house. Lonzo, I got through the first 50 square feet of the whatever square footage it is and thought to myself, I think I might just break up with her so I don't have to do this. It was miserable. I didn't actually think that's a joke, but it was miserable.
As someone who spent 3.5 to 4 hours outside yesterday, I thought it was an awesome day. It could have been hotter for you. Could have been hotter.
Dude, was sweating walking to the garden. Got this thing done. Ended up in a wrestling match with the tiller. The tiller won. But I got it done. And now, Lonzo, I walked outside this morning. Sometimes like when you do a project, you just go look at it, right? Sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, I did this.
Yeah. You walk out and you go, damn, I did that. That's awesome, right? I got some other woodworking projects I've been working on. I finished one. I'm like, yeah, I did this. I'm proud of me. I walked out. I looked at my 11 by 11 foot veggie garden that I had tilled. And you know what I thought to myself, Lonzo? I hate everything, and I'm never doing that again. I hope she enjoys the hell out of that garden. She better plant enough to survive the zombie apocalypse, because if she doesn't use that garden, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, with the way the economy is and food prices right now, it's probably a smart move to grow your own food, and I bet the food is going to be delicious.
She did let me. I get one little corner to plant what I want to plant in it. You know what I picked? Carolina Reaper pepper.
I was going to say it would be a pepper of some sort. Yes.
Planting a Reaper pepper. And once that thing is grown, I'm making homemade salsa with a Carolina Reaper pepper in it, and then not telling anybody, because I'm that guy.
What do you mean not telling?
Like, here, would you like some salsa?
Oh, okay. So it's not that you're not going to share. It's that
I'm going to share
you plan
with
on
everybody.
Sharing abundantly.
Everybody getting a taste.
Oh, I can't wait. I could use some of that today.
Everybody getting a taste of my Reaper salsa.
You could use some of that today too. Might clear some things up.
Hey, speaking of dates and relationships gone bad,
How about this, Cat? I saw this happen live. The A's and the Guardians. Whoa! We're playing each other in a baseball game on Saturday. Not a ton of fans there. But there were some Guardians fans. Anyway, there's a Guardians fan there over down the third base line, Lonzo. Just your average looking dude, man. And I say that with respect as another average looking dude. All right. He's just out trying to enjoy himself a bit of a baseball game. Yeah. Which of course, that's what you do when you go out to the old ball game. Third base line, Guardians fan, and his date. Pretty little blonde girl. I mean, I promise you right now, gentlemen, if you find a woman who says that a baseball game is an acceptable date, snag her.
So this isn't the one where dude's holding a baby and snatches the ball out of the air.
I'll talk about that one in a minute.
Okay, all right.
This is significantly worse. Gentlemen, you find a pretty girl who says a baseball game is an acceptable date, you take her to all of the baseball games. Trust me. So my guy found himself a girl who said, yeah, hun, a baseball game sounds good. Now, if you go to a baseball game, Lonzo, with a pretty girl who says, yes, a baseball game is an acceptable date, you've already won. However, there are brownie points that can be earned. Like, for instance, though, if you're able to snag her a foul ball and present it to her as a gift, a souvenir, a token of your endearment, babe, this is so you never forget our first or second or third or 50th baseball game together. I give you this foul ball I caught. That's one thing. It's another thing, though, if you are able to snag the ball with your own hand out of the air like a man. There's something to be said for that.
Oh, great. I think I know where this is going.
Oh, you do. Oh, yes, you do. My Guardians fan friend here. A foul ball. Not even a screamer. This isn't a ripping foul ball. It's a high fly ball. All right? Coming right down at him. There's no competition. There's like one guy ahead, one row, and over two chairs. This ball's coming straight to my guy. All he's got to do is reach up, snag it with his catching hand. No mitt. Because if you're a man, you don't bring a mitt to the game. All right? You barehand this if you're a grown-ass man. Reach up, grab the ball, never spill a drop of the beer, turn around, and hand her the ball. And you're in good shape. Instead, Lonzo, this happens.
Up at the ballpark.
Jumps the entire beer.
Yeah, foul ball, that'd be great. Don't need a shower, though.
Right on top of
Plus,
old girl who said
ruined?
yes
Oh, yeah,
to a
those
baseball
nachos
date.
are toast.
Then, the best part, Lonzo, doesn't even get the baseball.
Plus, is the food
The
ruined?
baseball
Oh, yeah,
rolls
those nachos
under
are
the seat,
toast.
and the woman ahead of him leaves with it. Guy, if you're going to grab the rock, grab the rock.
She doesn't appear to be too upset about it. Probably not the first time for that to happen for her. Maybe in another setting. I don't know.
Might be the last. It's one thing to not get the rock. It's another thing to not get the rock and throw, I don't know, $63 worth of beer directly into her face and white jersey.
Is that how much it costs for one?
Nah, not even. No. I mean, that's a $16 beer. That was at least a 25 ouncer.
They got to make up for the lack of seats being
I was going to
sold
say
there.
they're definitely not making out after that.
Well, there ain't nobody there,
My
so
man ruined it.
you got to overcharge since no one's coming to the Guardians game.
Whoa! Texter says, Rob, you're almost halfway through your show. A ton of content needed to be talked about in the NFL, and you are talking about nonsense. I mean, it made me laugh. So, yes, Lonzo, I definitely came into the show with zero NFL prep. Gosh, if only I hadn't planned on talking about that. I did some NBA. I'm going to do NASCAR. I'm going to do golf. Not a drop of NFL prep anywhere on my prep sheet.
You know what we should have talked about is I think one Clemson player that got drafted
Ooh.
for the entire 3 hours. That's what we should have talked about.
By the way, I am.
That's not entirely a bad thing, by the way, if there's only one, because that means you got a young team and, anyway.
Listen, I'm pulling for Justin Ross, the wide receiver out of Clemson. Pulling for Justin Ross. My man did not need to go into the draft. He needed to come back. Love the guy. Needed to come back. Needed one more year. Could have made bank on the NIL and got his body right to go to the next level. He's not ready. I could have told, in fact, I believe I did at one point tell you, if he gets drafted, he's a 7th round guy. He's more likely a UDFA player. And
do you blame that on the consultants, the coaches, whatever? I mean, I'm sure Dabo and those guys are like, no, you need to come back.
I'm sure Clemson wanted him back.
But, you get that look in your eyes and you think about that money you're going to make, and sometimes you don't realize that, one more year might have helped.
Yeah. I mean, listen, dude was at one point, had he come out in 2019, guy's a 1st-round pick. Yeah? 2019, Justin Ross is a 1st-round pick. 1,000-yard freshman season, 6 catches for a butt 53 and a TD in the college football playoff national championship game against Alabama. Dude was considered elite, but he couldn't. So he comes back to Clemson. He gets a stinger in practice that reveals a congenital spine condition that caused him to miss 1 full season, did return to the field, but the production was not the same, and his season ended early last year because of a stress fracture in his foot. He did not show the explosiveness. He did not show the speed that he had as a freshman that would have led him to be a number 1 overall pick. He just did not have it. What he needed was 1 more year.
Maybe he was concerned about the players throwing the ball to him and didn't think that there's any way he could showcase himself further.
I got to tell you, come back just for the health aspect, right? Come back just for the prep. Because the thing, he's an unsigned, undrafted free agent. He's not on a team right now.
He's still got a shot, though, because they're
not saying he doesn't.
they're signing guys right now.
I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying that, and I'm going off the top of my head, the Saints signed 17 undrafted players within 6 or 7 hours after the draft was over. 17. Justin Ross did not get signed. 1 more year, my guy. You should have come back for 1 more year, if for nothing else but to use Clemson's health and sports medicine department to get your foot right, to get your legs back under you, to figure out if with that spine condition you can be a long-term NFL prospect. Because as much as an NFL team is going to be banking on you being a productive NFL wide receiver for a year or 2, they are not looking to spend a draft pick on a guy that they're going, he's got 1, maybe 2 years, and then he's got to retire, right?
Do you think the crop of receivers, which were amazing this...
Yeah, well, we have 7 in the first round and
this draft
6
class,
or 7 in the second.
That had to hurt him a great deal.
100%. 100%. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that because we had, 6 or 7 wide receivers in the first round? First running back didn't come off the board until late 2nd round. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pass-happy NFL offense. Or NFL, excuse me. A pass-happy offense, NFL. Wide receivers are now more valuable than running backs. It's not a discussion anymore. We had the discussion a couple weeks ago. How is it that we have Tyreek Hill getting $27 million a year? Christian Kirk is getting 23 mil a year from the Jags? Christian Kirk.
Who?
Christian Kirk. Tyreek's getting paid in Miami. Devontae's getting paid in Oakland. Why, Rob? Why are these teams offering up $100+ million contracts to wide receivers? Because, ladies and gentlemen, the NFL's a passing league now. And wide receivers are the currency. That's the money. I don't need a running back who's going to be able to tote the rock 25, 27, 30 times a game. Because that's how many times we're throwing minimum. Yeah? Minimum. It is a wide receivers league. That's why these guys are getting paid. That's why so many got drafted so early in this draft to win the first and second round. All of that, and Justin Ross still can't get signed. For the record, my heart is broken for the kid. I'm not rubbing it in. My heart is broken for the kid because somebody talked him into going to the league. Somebody said, JR, now's your time. Now's your time. This is your chance.
Or maybe he made the decision on his own. You've talked constantly about how these college kids making their own decisions, that they're adults and that there are consequences to your decisions. This is another one of those cases.
But listen, at the end of the day, whether you get talked into it or come to the conclusion on your own, the consequences, the responsibility for the decision is still on you. The consequences of your decision are still on you. And I am heartbroken for Justin Ross. Texter says, fan, Zoe, I'm a Clemson fan and agree 100% with you on our quarterbacks not being able to showcase Ross. I get it. I do. But my thought is, don't come back to get showcased. Come back to use the health and sports medicine department at Clemson to get right. And play some college ball in the process to prove that you are back. I said that last week. I said that 2 weeks before the draft. I said that when he entered the draft. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. You didn't really have the pop that you had your freshman year. And I understand it's a couple of medical conditions that have put you there. But at the end of the day, no NFL team is going to look at Justin Ross and go, well, we're going to spend a second or third pick on you because we know your lack of numbers and speed is a medical thing. They're going to go, you have a lack of numbers and speed. That's not good. We're not drafting you. And that's exactly what happened.
And in the end, it's still the medical. I mean, that's kind of a bad thing. So, I mean, the fact that that's got to be the first red flag that goes up.
Sure. Listen.
So if he would have come back this year and had a stellar season, which could happen, probably not, but could, next year's draft probably not so heavy in receivers. Maybe he gets drafted.
Oh, sticking around one more year, I would say he would. One more year, get your foot right. Find out what's going on with your spine. Can you give the league 5, 6, 7, 10 years? Because if you can say, I can only give the league 1 or 2, you'll get a contract, but you ain't getting drafted and you ain't getting big money for it.
But you're also right. Speaking of big money, if it's about the money, you stay in college right now because you can get paid in college.
Yeah. You think Justin Ross wouldn't have got some NIL deals the day he said, I'm coming back?
Oh, for sure he would.
The day. Yo, there's a chicken restaurant somewhere in Clemson. There's a car dealership somewhere in Clemson. There's a whatever kind of business somewhere in Clemson that would have forked over some cash to have Justin Ross pop in once or twice a week and sign an autograph for $6. And don't tell me the market's not there, because last week, 3 Tennessee baseball players had a line of over 500 people wrapped around a trading card store to take pictures and go, that's a baseball player, not a football player. You don't think there's a sports memo shop somewhere in Clemson that wouldn't have forked Justin Ross over a few grand to show up? Come on, man. Come back, get your health right, get your foot right, get your back right. Give it some time, because now he's not got a team. And not only does he not have a team, but he's got no way to prove to those teams that he's ready. Trey said, would the USFL or the XFL be good options for Ross? They might be the only options for Ross, which sucks. Texas says, Justin Ross listened too much to the Clemson Homer station that said he's going round 1. If anybody said that Justin Ross is a first-round pick, do me a favor and don't listen to them anymore. I don't care if you do or don't listen to me, but if anybody tried to sell you on Justin Ross as a first-round pick, they are not capable of being objective. They're just not. Sorry. We take a break. We got some more draft talk when we come back, including how did the Panthers make out? I got to tell you, I'm pretty happy with it. We'll take a look at their draft class. We'll take a look at the NFC South overall. Who won, who lost this weekend? All that more coming up. I'm Rob. He's Zoe. This is the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
Peace.
And away we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is halftime of the show. I am Rob. He is Lonzo. It's great to be with you. Let's take a look at the Panthers draft, shall we? Lonzo, I will start with the general over-the-top view of it. I thought it was good. I thought they got, if not the most versatile offensive lineman, they got an absolute steamroller in Icky. He is a dude that is aggressive. He is a dude that is known as Senior Pancake around Virginia because of how aggressive he plays. I like this guy. Then they made the move to get Matt Corral out of Ole Miss. They had to trade up a little bit, paying a reasonable price of a third-round pick to move up and get him. Now remember, this is the same team that last Thursday, when we had Rashad Beard on, we asked the question, do you take a quarterback with the 6th overall pick? Carolina did not. And they still got one of 3 names, maybe 4, that we considered these guys might come off the board in the first round. They landed him in the 3rd, and all that cost them was, it effectively cost them 2/3.
You have a theory about that, by the way.
Fire away.
I think you draft him because you're going to go and get Baker. I know they say this makes sense because Sam Darnold is not going to be a backup to Baker Mayfield. He's not. You bring in a young guy that's going to be a backup to either Jimmy G or Baker Mayfield. I still think they make that move.
I don't know.
But this draft overall, this is the first time in recent memory where I can look at Carolina Panthers and go, yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. I mean, is it spectacular? No, they addressed the needs that they had for once, and I think added some really good pieces to the team.
It's a good draft. They did not jump the gun. They got one of the 3. The quarterbacks were Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, right? Which, by the way, the Steelers took Kenny Pickett at number 20 overall. Based on what happened to Malik going to Tennessee in the 3rd, based on what happened with Matt Corral going to Carolina in the 3rd, Pittsburgh may very well have been able to get Kenny Pickett late in the 2nd round. But they went with him over. Now I get why.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, because if you look at their overall history, they do a pretty good job at that stuff.
Sure. I don't think it's a bad pick. I think it's an interesting one, not because it's wrong, but because I don't wonder if KP would not have been available to them in the late 2nd round, considering Malik and Matt Corral didn't come off the board. But let me tell you what happened there. I was texting back and forth with Keegan on Saturday evening when Malik came off the board and when Matt Corral got selected by Carolina. Let me tell you what happened. Going into this draft, all 3 of these guys, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, add in Sam Howell, add in Desmond Ridder out of Cincinnati. All of these cats. So in any other year, these cats are considered 3rd-round picks. All right? Any other year. But because there was just 0 depth at the quarterback position in this draft, right? There were no that's a dudes at the QB spot in this draft. There's no guys that we were going, that's a 1st-round pick. There were no Andrew Lucks. And because there were no Andrew Lucks out there, guys that were definitely 1st-round picks, guys that were 3rd-round picks in every other draft got shuffled up into the 1st round, got talked about as if they were 1st-round picks. Malik Willis, if there is a Andrew Luck on the board, Malik Willis is not looked at as a first-round guy, but because there was not that guy, third-round picks were looked at as first-round picks. And here's what it came down to. What it came down to, Lonzo, is National Football League teams did not get shoved into the belief of, well, if you want a quarterback, you're going to have to draft a third-round kid with a first-round pick. One team did that. It was Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett was considered the most NFL-ready quarterback. Maybe not the quarterback with the highest ceiling, but the most NFL-ready. So the Steelers said, well, we got to have a quarterback. We got to have one. Because whether or not Mitchell Trubisky works out, we got to have a guy for the future. Because Mitch ain't exactly a spring chicken. So even if he does kill it, we got him for 3 or 4 years. We need the next guy. And Kenny Pickett looks like the most NFL ready. They had to go that direction. Nobody else did. Nobody else did. The reason Baker Mayfield isn't on a team is the reason that you didn't see quarterbacks coming off the board until the third round, right? Baker Mayfield doesn't have a job because there really are no teams, with the exception of maybe Seattle, maybe, and even Seattle's got Geno Smith. There's no team that goes, we have to end this weekend with a quarterback. Everybody's set. And there's nobody out there. There was nobody in the draft. The question's going to be, if I ask you to bet your job on it, would you bet your job that Malik Willis is going to be a better quarterback than Geno Smith for 2 years?
No.
No. Would you bet your job that Sam Howell is going to be a better quarterback than Geno Smith? We know what Geno is. We know what Sam Darnold is, right? We know what the bottom rung of quarterbacks are, and we have no idea what the draftable quarterbacks are. Would you bet your job on it? And GMs went, no. I'm not betting my job. I'm not betting my job on Malik Willis. I'm not betting my job on Sam Howell. I'm not betting my job on Desmond Ridder. So by the time they got to the third round, which remember, the third round is where these quarterbacks got graded out to. All of them. Maybe Kenny Pickett was a second round grade. But by and large, Malik, Matt, Sam, Desmond, that next batch of quarterbacks, by and large, got graded out as third round prospects. And where did they all go? In the third round. Because while it is a pass-happy league, and while it is a league that you've got to have a quarterback, having a rookie quarterback does not guarantee you a damn thing. I read last Friday, Zoe, that of the last 24 QBs to make the 24 individual QBs to make the playoffs, something like 19 or 20 of them were not on the team that drafted them when they did it. They were playing for their second or third or fourth team down the line. Which means that, give or take, about 10 to 12% of the quarterbacks drafted take the team that drafted them to the playoffs. It is more valuable to spend your draft picks elsewhere. It's what Carolina did with their first round. They could have gotten antsy. They could have panicked. They could have jumped the gun, and they could have taken a quarterback with the 6th overall. Had they taken a quarterback with the 6th overall and then not watched another quarterback come off the board. Now, who knows? Maybe if Carolina takes Kenny Pickett at 6 overall and forces Pittsburgh into taking Malik Willis at 20, then maybe Matt Corral and Desmond Ridder and Sam Howell get pushed up into the second round. But
Do you believe that, though? I don't. I don't. I think the other GMs are going to go, they're making them. Why are they reaching for that guy?
yeah, hence the big maybe I stuck on the end of that. Maybe those guys get pushed up. I think the quarterbacks ended up being drafted in the spots that they were graded out to being drafted. Third-round guys. And the fact that Carolina held the line, did not panic, I kept wondering. Because, again, we know they were on credit card picks. You ever heard that phrase before, credit card picks? We're going to start trading the 2024 and 25 and 26 picks.
Oh,
to move
okay.
up.
All right. So I was trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
We're going to start. I'm going to give you our 2025 second round pick. And the next thing you know, you got 3 or 4 players in this year's draft, but then 25 rolls around and you're like, where'd my money go? Where'd my money go?
Which is why Kansas City had like 10 picks or something
Correct.
like that because of stuff like that.
New England takes advantage of those teams all the time, right? That's why New England always ends drafts with what feels like 38 picks. Because once teams start trading out 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years worth of draft picks in advance, you got some teams that take advantage of those, and you got some that spend. The Saints are in that game, right? Saints traded up, 3 times in this draft? 3 times they traded up. Now, I'm not unhappy with it because I like the pick they got because the window is rapidly closing on New Orleans. So I'm fine to just go all in now and see what happens. Carolina did not. They did not panic. They did not break out the credit card. They held up. They waited. They got their guy in the 3rd round. All it cost them was next year's 3rd. And look, if they suck this year, we'll see what next year's quarterback class looks like. Can Matt Corral come into camp and take the starting job from Sam Darnold? I don't know. There's some guys that think he's got NFL potential and some guys who don't. I don't know is the answer. But I know, Lonzo, that it did not cost the Carolina Panthers the bank to find out. And I respect that. Carolina ended up with a solid draft grade from me.
I am curious what Rashad's going to think. Can't wait to hear his take on it.
Well, if you follow them on YouTube, the Panther Nation podcast, they're going to be doing their live draft review coming up this evening. I'm absolutely going to watch that. And then we'll talk to Shad on Thursday, right here on the show. Trey says Jason Kelsey was doing a draft stream on Bleacher Report and said he thought Icky has the potential to be a perennial All-Pro and future Hall of Famer. That's high praise. Dude, go watch his game film. Go watch Icky's tape from college. The guy puts people on their backs for a living. I love it. I can't wait. It's a good pick at 6 overall. Not the most versatile guy in the line. He's a tackle. Evan Neal's a guy that can play center guard or tackle, but he is the most violent offensive lineman. And for that, I'm ready. Let's take a break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 2 after this. Hey, Texter, aren't you glad I didn't have any NFL prep? He's Zoe, I'm Rob. This is the Fan Upstate.
Why? Why is that? That doesn't make sense. I didn't change a date or anything.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular rolls in one. Enjoy the go with Charmin. Your happiest spring starts at Lowe's because Spring Fest is on now. Find everything you need this season at a great low price like the Craftsman 20-volt string trim.
Why in the world would the date be on? That's just weird.
What's happening?
All right. CBS thing just recorded. I know it recorded because
Yeah.
I've seen it change from 2 to 14.
Sure.
And then suddenly it had an end date of last Friday on it. Which is not supposed to be end dated. At least I don't think so. Something for me to keep an eye on.
Get help managing your money for the life and years ahead. With Fidelity Income Planning, we'll look at what you've saved, what you'll need, and help you build a flexible plan for cash flow designed to last, so you can go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services, member NYSE SIPC.
All right, wrapping up the second hour of the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. Rob and Lonzo with you on a beautiful Upstate Monday afternoon. Monday. Ba-da-ba. So, taking a look at the draft grades around the league. Carolina, the Panthers. I'm very, very happy with the draft class overall. Like I said, I think that we'll talk about individual players later on in the show during the third hour of the show, but I am happy with how the Panthers played this thing overall. The pickup of Ike Ekwonu is a good one. You got not just a really good tackle, you got a very violent tackle. You got a guy who is known for being insane aggressive off the line. And for a team, and Lonzo, I thought you brought up a really good point on Friday when we talked about this. We got to talking about which of the offensive linemen versus quarterbacks, et cetera, et cetera. I had asked Rashad Beard, all right, you got Icky, who is pretty much a tackle and just a left tackle, and he's a run block tackle, not a guy that's going to help you with the passing game. When you're trying to get Sam Darnold better, is that the right move? And Rashad said, look, at the end of the day, Sam is what Sam is. And Lonzo said, isn't Carolina a rushing football team? The answer is yes. Yes, they are. Regardless of whether Christian McCaffrey comes back healthy or not, Carolina's a run-first football team. You got the best run-blocking tackle in this class, and it's not particularly close, right? The class shook out real well where you got your pick of the offensive lineman. You got the most aggressive, angry, off-the-cuff, violent offensive tackle in the run game. And as Lonzo accurately pointed out, you're a run team. You have just added the best run block tackle in this class. That was exactly the right decision. Exactly the right decision. You didn't have to trade up for it. You did trade up to get your quarterback. We wondered where your quarterback was going to come from. I started to panic a little bit, Zoe, because I thought, if they don't move here and we get to the fourth round, those QBs have been graded out at round 3. They're coming off before the Panthers pick at 4. They jump up to 3. They get Matt Corral with the 94th pick overall. That's a great move. That's a great move. It didn't cost you that much, and you ended up with your guy. Lonzo, on an A to F scale, what's your grade for the Panthers?
A-.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. I think there were some moves that were made. The Kalon Barnes pick in the 7th round. Didn't really love that pick, but you did need some cornerbacks. I think you could have got a better value cornerback earlier in the draft, but it is what it is. We got plenty more coming up in the 3rd hour of the show. Stick around, not go anywhere. I'm Rob, he's Lonzo, and this is the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate, y'all. I have to think of best NBA quote of all time. Let's go.
Yeah.
Honey Badger.
Yeah, but they've been reporting it all day.
Yeah.
But
The last I heard
rumor is, I haven't seen it say that he's signed, or I would have broke news on it.
Last I heard was we are strongly pursuing the Honey Badger.
The NFL did just tweet a a picture of him in a New Orleans uniform.
Badger, we're gonna have the baddest secondary in the game, son.
Who's your quarterback again? You're gonna need it.
Why you have to?
No, when after Jameis's surgery,
On my parade.
when he is much more accurate now. If he can stay healthy, guys are going to be decent.
Here's what I know. What I know is my dude last year had a 3.5 to 1 TD to interception ratio. I'm gonna roll with that. I'm happy with it.
I love all this rumor stuff, though. Did he sign with the Orleans or did he not? I guess since the NFL posted that picture, I guess that means it's legit, but I don't see anything. What, is Schefter asleep? Or maybe he's been canceled. Maybe that's why I don't see him on Twitter anymore.
Did he say any more dumb things this weekend?
Not that I'm aware of, but I didn't watch their coverage, so.
The smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hey, this is Don with American Made Windows. Spring is here. The trees are budding. The flowers are blooming. And if you're seeing it all through foggy, drafty, outdated windows, now is the time to upgrade your home with our beautiful, energy-efficient windows. At American Made Windows, we do expert work quickly, cleanly, and affordably. So don't wait. Visit amwupstate.com.
I agree, Trey. It did look like something that Apollo Crews would wear.
Best windows are American made.
How about another round of cuts over the weekend, though?
Yeah, pretty upset about one of them.
Which one?
The one that you're probably okay with. Dexter Loomis.
No, I was not okay. Why would you cut him?
Although, Cameron says, you know, Dad, because we were talking about it on the air, this is AEW's opportunity to have a Dexter Loomis Danhausen tag team.
Are you kidding me?
And I'm like, You're right.
Listen, I am a New Age outlaw, and that would be the greatest tag team of all time.
That would be. I still haven't seen him wrestle. He still didn't wrestle Friday night.
I want them to just draw it out and tease it as long as they can get away with it.
Yeah, but what they're setting up now is possibly a tag team with him and Hook. I don't want to see that.
Why?
Because
Incredible.
I don't know.
I need
Because
more-
now Dexter Loomis is in my head, and him and Dexter Loomis would just be.
I need more half comedy, half brutal violence tag teams.
Persia Parada being dropped was a surprise. Dakota Kai was a big surprise, but I heard him listen to a couple of
I
different.
didn't expect Bevins to get dropped.
Yeah, I heard a couple podcasts saying that maybe they didn't know what to do with her anymore from a writing standpoint.
With Dakota?
Yeah. She pulled off the crazy well. I thought that was going a lot better than so I don't know. I'm reading that they're working more on progressing with their NIL kids. Stinking NIL ruins everything, Rob, including Dexter Loomis.
What's to tell you? That's
Oh,
that's
have you
your company,
seen
buddy.
Dexter Loomis tweeted?
No, did he?
When you get a chance to see the video he
I get a
tweeted?
chance. I'm going right now.
Oh, dude, it is. Of course, he doesn't say anything because he doesn't have to.
His poor wife. Well, hello, friends. The third, the final, the best, the money hour of the Rob Brown Show goes now. This is the fan upstate. How do you do? I am Rob. He is the professor of perfection, Lonzo. We collectively are the South Carolina Broadcasters Association Sports Talk Radio Show of the year, the whole year. I bought a red sequin jacket, a.k.a. Good Seth Rollins, for when we attempt to go back-to-back, which, yeah, we are.
Unless they come up with some kind of concept that you go, no, I got to do that, which they could do. They could do, or
It's
maybe,
a red sequin blazer,
or maybe
dude.
that will just buy in, just work with
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah. I'm just going to be the whatever we are this year, best dressed version of that.
It's radio. There are no surprises,
None.
really.
None. Last year wore, which one did I wear? Yes, the black and white paisley pattern last year. Because I didn't think it was, I didn't want to stand out too much last year, you know, Zoe? I wanted to kind of blend in a little bit. This year, I want somebody to point a laser pointer at me and blind most people in the room.
Gotta say, your girlfriend not happy with your jacket choice last time.
Everybody else loved it.
And yeah, I absolutely loved it.
Everybody
I
else
thought it was
loved
great. I thought it was great.
She was so mad because I put it on to go, and she's like, no. She's like, babe, no. I'm like, why? She goes, it's too much. You need to dress like a professional. I was like, this is professional. We got to that place, and every person we came up was like, I love your jacket. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I've told you this. She does not know I own a red sequin jacket yet. Except for now somebody's going to tweet her.
No one would do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
You're all in on it. So you don't want to do that.
If you guys don't tell her, I will film her reaction to me breaking out the red sequin jacket. It's dope. Ladies and gentlemen, the third hour of the show. Got a lot of stuff to get into here on the broadcast. Lonzo, I've seen two stories real quick. I won't spend a ton of time with these. First off, I saw a woman in Tennessee, either a grandma or an aunt. Aunt.
Depends on their socioeconomic status. If they are rich,
Aunt.
it's an aunt. If it's just, Aunt Lanny down the street,
Yeah. Aunt.
she's aunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So an aunt who went and bought a lottery ticket with her nephew. Lottery ticket ends up cashing Zoe for 1.2 mil. After, lump sum, it's like 1.9, but they get like 1.2. Well, when she bought the ticket and she filled out the ticket, she wrote down her name and her nephew's name. So the lottery office in Tennessee cut her and her nephew both a check, splitting the difference for like $625,000 apiece. She is now suing her nephew for his half, saying he doesn't deserve it because she bought the ticket. Lottery office is like, yo, his name's on the ticket too. She's like, right, that her quote, that was just for good luck. I bought the ticket. 100% of the ticket was purchased by me. Therefore, 100% of the prize money should come to me. Suing her own nephew, whose name she wrote on the ticket for $100,000 because he won. Second story, a man went and bought a lottery ticket with money, Zoe, that he took out of his girlfriend's purse without asking her. Just went, grabbed a few bucks out of the purse, went down to the old 7-Eleven, bought himself a ticket, won 10 mil, came back with the money, gave her, Lonzo, the money back that he took to buy the lottery ticket, and then went later. She is now saying that she should get a chunk of the money because technically she bought the lottery ticket. It was her money that bought the ticket. She bought the ticket. She wants a chunk of his money now. Face and heel on both sides.
All right. The first one.
The aunt's the ulta heel, right?
Yeah, she is. And she's not going to win that. She put his name on there. If anything, she's going to lose money because she's paying for litigation, and she's going to be out that cash right there. The other one, I think the girlfriend can sue him for theft, and I don't know how much money she'd recoup out of that.
I was going to say, that kid's an idiot. I would, dude, I don't even know how much he won. But so I'm giving her like 5% or whatever I won to never bring it up again, right? If I won $1 million, here's 10 grand to make up for the $6 I took out of your purse.
Well, in her case, obviously he didn't really care that much about you because he got paid and now he's out.
Yeah.
So you try to sue him for theft and whatever you can.
First step is you never reveal to. First off, if you can get away with it, if you win the lottery, don't tell anybody. Like, at all. You tell a financial investor and a lawyer, and that's it. Don't tell your family, don't tell your friends.
Unless you find out dude won $75.
Yeah. I mean, if you won $100, nobody cares. But if you hit a 6 or 7 figure, yeah, don't tell nobody. Don't tell your friends, don't tell your family. Tell a lawyer and a financial investor, and then that's it. Buy your yacht, get to the Bahamas, and never write anybody ever again. Because people get nasty when it comes to that much money. Get out of Dodge, never come back. Never come back. All right. A couple of other stories that I wanted to get to on the day today. We talked about Guardians guy dumping his beer on that girl, right? Lonzo, is he getting a second date? If that's date number 1, is he getting a second date?
You know, sometimes things pop in my head that I probably shouldn't say.
But then we say them anyway because that's how this show works.
That might have just been foreplay.
I'll tell you what. If that guy not only dropped the ball, not only did not ultimately get the ball, but threw $22 worth of beer in that young lady's face and still took her home after the game, good on you. You found a keeper. You found a keeper, my guy. She said yes to a baseball date. That's already winning. Then you dumped a large Bud Light on her face. and she still hooked up with you.
I just
Bravo.
want to point out from the footage I saw, she didn't look angry.
She really didn't. I was surprising because I only saw the first part, but when I went and watched through the end of that video clip, she most certainly did look like she was like, oh, well, that sucks for me. LOL. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he's loaded. He did afford a large beer at the ballpark. He's clearly not hurting that much.
And it looked hot outside, so I mean,
Yeah.
there's that too.
Dude, and by dude, I mean every person, all of you, the royal dude. If you go to a ballpark and if you go up for a foul ball, number one, catch it. All right? Catch it. Catch it. This guy left his feet. That was mistake number one. If you are going to leave your feet for the baseball, you better come down with the baseball. Lonzo, I have been to probably 50 Major League Baseball games throughout my life, right? I have been to, I cannot tell you, at least a few hundred minor league baseball games throughout my life. I have had one foul ball land anywhere near me. It was like a section, or excuse me, one row and 3 seats over at a Blue Wahoos game. That's Pensacola's minor league team. And I thought, you know, I'd step over the chairs and grab that. I've never got a foul ball. I'll probably give it to a kid. I got Zoe not boxed out. I mean, a kid, a row behind me, a kid, 7, 8, came over the seat. Giannis elbow blocked me out and then went over the next row of seats to get that baseball. I have one bad guy take in sports. One Razor Ramon, ayo, bad guy take in sports. If I catch a foul ball or a home run ball of any importance in a baseball game, Lonzo, don't send your kid over to get it because I will send him back to you empty-handed and disappointed. I have watched, this is my old man take. I got one. This is it. I have watched kids turn into the worst little animals in the world over a foul ball or home run at a baseball game. The most entitled, savage little beast in the world over a baseball, right? Because we've created this culture where if you catch a ball, you're obligated to give it to a kid. No. I have been to upwards of 400 plus professional baseball games in my life, give or take. I've never had one. Never got one. Now, if it's a foul ball from some dude in a minor league game, that doesn't matter. Maybe. We'll see. If your kid is well behaved and not asking, Lonzo, I will never give a ball to a kid who walks up to me with their hand out. When did we start being okay with that? Watch any baseball game. You will see on a foul ball or home run, you will see at least one kid roll up and just stick their hand out. When did we become okay with that?
See, if I'm you, I wouldn't absolutely rule this out because you make eye contact with the parent and you do one of these. You rub your fingers together. And if they nod, then you go ahead and you do that.
How much money is this memory worth, Dad? What do you say, Mom? About $25 will buy your kid this lifetime memory at the ballpark.
Never pass up on an opportunity for cash. That's all I'm saying.
Here's what I'm saying. If your kid rolls up to me and just has his hand out for the ball, I promise you he's not getting it. Promise you. If I catch a foul ball that is irrelevant to me, right? Some guy I don't know of, not at a pro game, minor league game, whatever, right? If I see a kid, Lonzo, that's just like well behaved, right? just sitting there enjoying a good baseball game, I will blow past the kids asking for the ball to go give it to that kid. Here's your memory, dude. Thanks for being a well-behaved kid. If I see your kid acting like a normal kid, I might give you the baseball. Texter says, that's what happens when you sit in the box seats all the time. Come sit with us regular people sometime. Dude, no. Do you know, I do not sit in box seats. For the record, I could sit in box seats to any athletic competition I want to. Press box, club seats. I know people.
Did you
with
just
box
go,
seats.
do you know who I am?
100%.
Okay. All right.
You're going to come at me on the text. I'm going to tell you exactly who the hell I am. All right? I know people with box seats to drive games. I know people with PNC seats, sideline, the big cushy recliner seats at Triumph games. I know people with luxury boxes at Rabbits games. I could sit in the box to any of those games. Lonzo, when you see me on TV with the Triumph, where am I? Section 110.
Banging the drum, baby.
Supporter section. You're damn right. And, by the way, seats that I pay for because I give back to the clubs. That's exactly where I sit. Don't come at me with the you 1%er in the... No. Your little kids in Section 110, they're not getting the ball just because they stick their hand out at me. Get out of here with that. That's weak. When do we get to this? You just give a kid the ball. Trey says, if I catch a home run, I'm giving it to a kid. My kid. And if I don't have kids, it'll be for my future kids. Yeah. I'll tell you right now, if I catch a home run ball at a Major League Baseball game, home run ball, don't send your kid up to me. I'm sending it back disappointed. That ball goes up in my man cave, and then when I die, it goes on to my nephew, who is getting all my sports stuff.
And it suddenly becomes, a ball from a totally different guy who batted it.
Yeah.
It's a fish
Yeah.
story. It's
Babe
good.
Ruth hit this one.
Yeah.
Hank Aaron hit this one. So anyway, all I'm saying is stop sending your kids at me after I catch a ball. It's not yours. It's not theirs. If I want to give it to them, I'll do it. It won't be because they asked impolitely, by the way. Next time Alonzo eats a sub, I'm just going to walk over and stick my hand in his face. That's how it works, right?
It's probably not a good move on your part.
Texter said, can't hide national radio show money. Yeah, got me. Hey, I got a little bump in the paycheck. What do you want? I'm club seats now.
As if that person would have said no.
Yeah, right. All right, let me take a break because I'm off the mark. Shocking, I know. Did we sign Honey Badger or not? I can't find it.
Yeah, it's still.
Breaking news guy said the Saints signing Honey Badger, and then I look around at Twitter and I've got nothing. Don't play with my emotions, dude. PFT says Tyrann Mathieu expected to sign with the Saints.
Expected to. I'm seeing a lot of expected tos, but no actually signing.
LSU football just tweeted out LSU's son is coming home and then tagged Tyrann and the Saints. And Rappaport tweeted out an hour ago, the Saints are making a key post-draft addition as they're expected to sign all-pro safety Tyrann Mathieu, sources say. A long-awaited signing should be finalized in the coming days as the Honey Badger lands in a perfect spot.
Okay. How about putting it out there when it actually happens? Not expected to. You're in such a hurry to beat everybody else. It ain't happened yet.
So less than an hour ago, the official NFL account tweeted one of the best safeties in the league at Mathieu era is headed back home, end quote. That's the NFL's account. That's not Shefty or Rappaport.
Whenever there's a signing, what do we hear? We hear money, we hear length of contract, all that kind of stuff. We're not hearing about that. And the person tweeting out for NFL may be like 24 years old. We don't know that. Not that that's a bad thing.
I mean, listen, I know the joke is interns run social media, but Not for billion-dollar companies, they don't. Not they don't. They didn't just hire the kid coming out of Indy to step in and run their account as
See,
a
but
21-year-old intern.
I think you're wrong. I really do, because we hire young people all the time, and they are put in control of social media and things for whatever particular show they're on.
Who runs our social media?
Each individual producer
Me,
and
Mark, you,
Yeah, right.
Diesel.
Right.
That's it.
But we don't really have any young guys working on this station. On other stations, there are. I think you're wrong about this. I think someone can be hired right out of college or high school or off the street and be given the reins to handle social media, because those kids who are like 20-something years old have more experience in social media than just about anybody.
You're not wrong, but
They grew up in it. They're in it all the
no,
time.
I agree with that. Doesn't mean being able to do it and being able to do it well is very different. I don't think the NFL
Yeah,
is going to be
I know all
cool
about that.
with I don't think the NFL is going to be cool with their interns tweeting out one of the best all-pro safeties in the league is headed back to New Orleans.
Still
before
speculation.
That happens.
Still speculation until we see an actual signing. That's all this is. All this is hearsay and speculation until we hear about an actual contract being signed.
Texter said, fan, 3 Gamecocks get drafted and only 2 Clemson players. That shows you when Clemson is in a down year, they still only play in the All Cupcakes Conference. An ACC/Clemson takedown.
Wow, somebody could do an entire show on that and might.
Fan, Deshaun Watson was a Falcon for an hour, too. That's a valid point. Deshaun was a Falcon, according to speculation, until he was a Brown. Listen, as a Saints fan, absolutely want Honey Badger back in New Orleans. However, I am not going to get all hot and bothered about it until I get the contract signed.
I don't know. You seem pretty excited right now about it.
I am! Let's go, Honey Badger! Welcome back to the 504. I got 3 different zip codes.
I was going to say I wouldn't known any of them.
Get
So
the 850, the 864, and the 504. Those are my 3 zip codes.
that's the 3 states that. I mean,
Well, 504 is NOLA, 865 or 850 is Destin, and of course, 864.
by the way, I saw you pointing in directions, and I knew exactly what
Yeah.
you were talking about. But
I had to do it in my head.
You can too if you go to the Facebook page or YouTube.
Texter says that just means that more of our players from that 30-0 beatdown are coming back to do it again. Woo. Monday, baby. Let's take a break. We're back after this. I'm Rob. He's Zoe. And this is the Fan Upstate.
I'm curious. Do you call what you wear on your legs? What do you call them?
Pants?
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious if you call them pants or slacks. I don't think.
Slacks are like dress pants.
Are they? They're still pants though.
They're not. There's dress pants, slacks.
See, I would call them dress pants. I would never call. I don't think I've ever used the word slacks except for talking about how someone, their effort.
The Rob Brown Show back on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Rob, Lonzo, you. The Preferred Home Services text line's open at 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N, FAN, F-A-N. We'll read them live on the air. You can also call us on the phone line, the FAN phone line. 844-FAN-PHONE, 844-FAN-F-O-N-E. That's 844-326-3663.
Just think Batman. You'll think fan phone, like the bat phone, the fan phone.
Fan phone. Texter, do you think Kevin Harris will make some noise up in New England? He once led the SEC in rushing. First off, New England's draft was, I don't know, not great. Not great. But I'm intrigued. I watched Kevin Harris obviously have a really good start, but he was projected as around a 6th-round pick. I think that New England is a place that is still trying to figure out which direction they go. I'll talk more about it later. I don't want to get into that yet because I don't know is the answer. I did not do a ton of draft prospect because I was focused on a lot of Carolina's potential draft. And because, frankly, I don't know what the hell's going on in New England. I just don't. I think that the Patriots are... Do the Patriots feel lost right now to you? Do the Patriots feel lost post-Brady? I think they do, right? They opened up the draft by taking a guy in Cole Strange out of Chattanooga that was projected to be a 4th-round pick. They go with a Baylor wide receiver late. They just feel lost to me.
Yeah, but any other season, if Tom Brady's there and they're making those choices, Bill's being Bill. He's doing things because he looks at things different than everybody else. But because Tom Brady's not there, now all of a sudden I don't see him doing anything different than he's done since he's been there. Kevin Harris should fit in pretty well because the way they use their running backs and all that kind of stuff, he should be fine. I think the question is, how will the quarterback do, Mac Jones, in his 2nd season?
So they get him a wide receiver in Tyquan Thornton out of Baylor with the number 50 overall pick, one of the fastest wide receivers in the draft. They go get a cornerback out of Houston with number 85 overall. Marcus Jones was his name. They get a running back from South Dakota State in the 4th round at 127 overall. They get Bailey Zapp, the quarterback out of Western Kentucky, in round 4. And then they take Kevin Harris in round number 6, 183 overall. The problem is that you're running back heavy in New England, right? And I think Bill did that on purpose. I think he wants to support Mac Jones with a heavy running game. I think he did a good job taking running backs here. They went pretty much, in fact, they went entirely line the rest of the way. Defensive tackle, guard, offensive tackle with their last 3 picks. Kevin Harris is a dude that is going to be right around the roster cutoff. Right? And he's going to have to outwork somebody else. I don't know if it is Damian Harris. I don't know if it's Ramondre Stevenson. I don't know if it is their 4th-round pick, Pierre Strong Jr. out of North Dakota State. Kevin Harris has got to outplay in camp one of those guys if he wants to make the roster. James White is still on that roster. James White is a good rusher, but a better pass catcher. J.J. Taylor, Devine Ozigbo are both on the roster. There's like 7 running backs on the Patriots roster right now. I get that Bill wants to be able to open up the floor for Mac by having a really strong running game.
Maybe they're going to run the wishbone now.
But they theoretically could. They got enough running backs to go around. Texter said the Patriots draft was so bad, it makes you wonder if they know something everyone else doesn't. That's not unfair. It's really not. I don't understand the Patriots draft. I don't get it. Cole Strange is your new left guard, viewed as a 3rd-round pick by a lot of folks. But here's the interesting thing about New England. Logan Mankins has been the starter for the Patriots since was the Patriots starter for many years, since 2005, when he got drafted in the 1st round by Bill Belichick. Logan Mankins got picked 32nd. Everybody made fun of that pick because he was a 3rd-round guy. He started really, really solid and stayed there for a very long time. New England picked this guy out and said, he's tough, he's aggressive, he's got good movement left and right. He is a running back blocking guard. Then they went and they got some running backs, and they filled out the running back roster, including Kevin Harris, including Pierre Strong Jr. out of South Dakota State. It's going to be a fight for Kevin Harris to make the roster. But if he can do it, he'll get his chance. Because I suspect the Patriots are about to 180 away from the Brady days and be a running team that sets up Mac Jones.
Kevin Harris got a good shot for special teams.
Sure. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. A lot of speed there. Anyway, I don't know is the answer. And I don't know because I do not know if the Patriots just don't have too much depth for a 6th round, 4th, 5th, 6th round pick. They got 2 running backs, one in the 4th, one in the 6th to make it. I don't know. Got another question asked about Matt Corral. The new I almost called him the starting quarterback for Carolina. He very well might be. He might be. It might be a bit of a Freudian slip. He may very well be the starter. 4-star recruit. Turned down to Alabama, committed to USC, committed to Florida, ended up at Ole Miss. Georgia offered him. Michigan offered him. He had no shortage of offers from big-time schools. Redshirt in 2018, played in 4 games, started 4 games in 2019, missed 2 with a rib injury, rotated into games throughout the rest of the season, but then in 2020 broke out. Manning Award finalist, led the FBS in total offense per game, over 384 yards per game, ranked 9th in passing efficiency, 7th with 29 passing touchdowns, and 7th with over 3,337 yards in 10 starts. Named the Outback Bowl MVP with a win over Indiana, 342 and a pair of touchdowns in that one. And finished 7th in the Heisman Trophy voting, garnering 2nd team all SEC honors, Started all 13 games, went 67.9% completion, 3,349 yards, 20 TDs, 5 INTs, 152, 614 for 11 touchdowns rushing before suffering the high ankle sprain in the Tease Bowl game. And everybody went, played in the bowl game. Way to be there for your team.
All right, out of the 3 quarterbacks on the roster for Carolina right now, who would you start?
Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
Darnold.
You start Sam Darnold.
Yep. Sam Darnold's getting start week 1.
It's kind of sad, but that's what you got to do with.
Doesn't mean I don't change it by week 5.
I'm just saying Corral is going to look good as the backup to either Baker Mayfield or Jimmy G. And Sam Darnold will be in the wind.
Here's the fun part. I am now waiting for the next round of news that does not involve the Honey Badger and the Saints. The next round of news.
Has he signed yet?
No, I'm still waiting. I'm just death scrolling Twitter at this point. The next round of news, Zoe, is the Cleveland Browns have released quarterback Baker Mayfield, right? Get him for free. Get him for free. The Browns are still going to end up having to pay some of his money. Get him for free. Now the question's going to be, does Carolina pick him up? Because in return, you're probably going to have to release Sam Darnold, right? And if you release Sam Darnold, you are still on the hook for a good chunk of his money after he signs somewhere else. I don't know, Lonzo. I don't know. Yes, my thought was grab me. We've talked about this from the minute all that started. Grab me Bake, grab me Jimmy G, grab me a vet, and let's see what happens. I'm at the point now where I'm looking at it and going, I don't know if you can. Right? Because everything we talked about Baker, he'll be free. He's going to get cut, which he probably will. A, Seattle is in better shape to bring him in. B, you still got to do something with Sam. And if you got through the draft without finding somebody to take Sam Darnold off your hands, I suspect you're not going to now. And if you're not going to now, what's the move you make to clear that spot up for Bake? I think your week one starting quarterbacks, Sam Darnold. I think your backup is Matt Corral. I think PJ Walker is your third string QB if he stays on the team. I don't know that there is a path to bring in a veteran quarterback now. I really don't. I'd still want to. I'd bring in Bake and let Matt Corral learn under Bake. I'd bring in Jimmy G and do him. But the other aspect of this is we talked about the press conference Tepper held last week. I don't know if you caught this, Zoe, but when asked about Sam Darnold and Matt Rule, multiple times David Tepper said something to the effect of, well, we knew this was a multi-year process, and we know that Matt Rule's got a couple of years of growth left before the process is complete. The longer we talked about this, the more it sounds to me like Matt Rule maybe isn't on the hot seat like we have all been assuming that he is.
Not all of us. I've been saying all along.
You have been. That's true.
I'm not trying to go, hey, look at me, but I have been saying that. Tepper seems very, very patient. I think if the quarterback room stays the way it is, Darnold could get beat out because he spent some time on the pine last year. That messes with your confidence.
He did. And now he's got a fresh, new, shiny quarterback in the locker room behind him. Now, I do wonder, Matt Corral's injury, that rolled up on ankle, that sprained ankle, did it heal 100%? Is he going to be good on it? Rob, why would you encourage players to sit out of the bowl game? That's why, right there. That's literally, Matt Corral's literally the reason why. 100% that's the reason why. I don't get it. Anyway, Texas says Matt Corral's quick release and short throwing motion is impressive. But Matt Corral at Ole Miss showed he's got it. He's got field vision. He's got the ability to tuck and run and not scare you when he does it, right? Like a lot of Carolina fans, when Teddy Bridgewater got there, they're like, oh, he can run I don't want him to. Can and should are different. Matt Corral can tuck the ball and take off, and it doesn't scare me. Red zone situation, absolutely. Absolutely. Give him a run. So we'll see. We'll break it down further as we get towards the end of the week. Rashad Beard joins us Thursday at 9:30, and we'll get him to break down the Carolina draft from his perspective. Let's take a break. We'll come back. A couple of thoughts on the NBA playoffs as they stand, Twitter trending topics, and we call it a day. He's Lonzo. I'm Rob. This is the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
Sports Flash on the Fan Upstate. Reinforce the postponement of Sunday's NASCAR Cup Series race at Dover. Things will resume at noon Eastern today. Kyle Larson is the current leader. Denny Hamlin led much of the first 78 laps before things were halted. It'll be the Carolina Hurricanes and the Boston Bruins in the first round of the NHL playoffs. 7 o'clock puck drop tonight at home for the Canes, who finished the regular season as the Metropolitan Division selected 6 players in the NFL Draft, including first-round tackle Ike Ekwonu out of NC State and third-round quarterback Matt Corral from Ole Miss. After winning 3 straight, Clemson baseball has dropped 3 in a row, losing all 3 matchups against Louisville over the weekend. Sunday's finale was an 18-15 loss. Next up, Friday's home matchup against
18 to 15.
Download the
33 runs in a baseball game.
Upstate and listen anywhere on your phone. I'm Chuck Sanders, and that's your sports flash on the Fan Upstate.
Good pitching in that game.
Golly.
Yeah, do I have to dock this a little bit?
Whether it's a bad kick, nagging attitude, or a hip that has you wobbling, nothing matters more than getting you back to feeling your best. As South Carolina's most preferred orthopedic provider and official team doctor for the Gamecocks, Prisma Health provides all the gear you need. With more expertise, more technology, and more locations closer to you, we're doing even more to help you be your healthiest you. Prisma Health, the orthopedic experts.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope, we use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios,
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
but you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine.
You know I'm all about that boom.
Details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. You'll get a free medical consultation. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Baseball is back, and Odyssey's stepping up to the plate.
Game analysis, reactions, and recaps, Odyssey's got them all.
Tips to help you make better bets.
We've got them with the BetQL network.
Official MLB podcasts for every single team.
Got them, plus daily coverage from Locked On MLB and a lot more.
Get everything you need for baseball season with the biggest in baseball.
All right, so we're coming back at 49. Do you want to just go ahead and do Twitter?
At work or on the go.
Yeah, that's fine. I did really good staying on the clock the first hour and then just blew it.
Ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Granger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done. Grilling never smelled so good. Introducing new Kingsford Signature Flavors. Made with 100% real spices. Kingsford Signature Flavors flavor boosters can be added to any pre-lit charcoal.
Joe West, the umpire?
Kingsford Charcoal Briquette.
I genuinely don't
Body flavor and aroma.
know why I'd have interest in watching that. Like, you're famous because you were really terrible at your job.
Kingsford.com. You're the one everyone looks to for answers,
Source confirms Saints have agreed to a deal with Tyrann Matthew.
and you're the one who makes it happen.
Yeah, really? Who's the source?
Your employee safety first.
Keegan said, yup. Mike Triplett, is the best beat reporter for the Saints. If Triplet says it, it's good. It's good. I trust him.
Call clickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Get help managing your money for the life and years ahead with Fidelity Income Planning. We'll look at what you've saved, what you'll need, and help you build a flexible plan for cash flow designed to last, so you can go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services, number NYSE SIPC.
Time for Twitter Trending Topics, where I tell Rob what is trending and he will tell us why it is trending. The first one that's trending is it's an amazing thing. I cannot wait to hear Rob's reaction. Sean Payton is trending. I want to see if you have the same attitude that a lot of people on Twitter have towards Sean Payton right now.
I mean, listen, I don't know what
All
Sean
Saints fans, by the way.
I'm sure. Listen, so the rumor came out during the whole Brady to the Dolphins thing that part of the reason Sean Payton stepped away was that Sean Payton was going to retire from the Saints and then go to Miami with Tom Brady to coach Brady and the Dolphins. And then obviously when the Brian Flores lawsuit broke, the Dolphins could not immediately just turn around and hire a white head coach and bring in bring in Tom Brady at the same time. It would have been a really, really bad look for the Dolphins. And so there's a lot of people, myself included, who kind of suspect that maybe Sean Payton didn't really want to retire, but then kind of got the rug pulled out from under him and now has to stay retired for some time. I'm really hoping he's trending because he helped talk Tyrann Mathieu to New Orleans, but I suspect that's not the case.
All right. From what I can gather, he is suddenly trending because we kind of confirmed that Tyrann Mathieu has signed with the Saints, and supposedly Sean Payton would never sign anyone from LSU. So it's just a bunch of LSU people hating on Sean Payton.
We really did not sign many, if any, LSU kids while Sean Payton's there. He's not wrong. And Louisiana has a very, very deep connection. I've said this, and I think everybody says this about their team. I don't think there is, post-Katrina, a stronger city/state connection to a football team than the Saints in Louisiana. And obviously there's a lot of bleed over from LSU fans that are also Saints fans that want to see LSU kids become Saints when they get there. And Sean Payton really never brought in LSU guys. Obviously Tyrann Mathieu is. ESPN now reporting that it is official that Tyrann has signed with the Saints. So let's go.
All right, the next thing is trending is Dwayne Johnson and Pat McAfee.
Dwayne's on McAfee's show? Or are we fantasy booking a Rock v. the Punter dream match here?
All right, here's why they're trending. It's both of their birthdays today.
Oh, they're born on the same day.
Yes.
Ah.
The Rock is 50 and McAfee is 35.
That man's 50 damn years old.
Yes. And of course, a bunch of people are throwing up workout things with The Rock and he's 50. And it's just like, yeah, okay.
From all accounts, The Rock's a really good dude. That's all I care about, right? And also, how does The Rock, 14 years older than me, look younger than me? That's not fair. It's not okay.
He's 3 years younger than me, and I'm like, you know what? I could do that.
I can't. Call a spade here. I am well past I could still look like The Rock days.
Well
past
I guess it depends on if you believe it's all natural or not. Because if it's not, then you too could look that way.
And a lot smaller chance of that guy from Tate impacting your post-high school reproductive career.
There you go. I will say it's pretty wild that a person on top of the movies and the person on top of all media would seem have a birthday on the same day.
I mean, both of those guys living their best lives, right?
That's very, very cool. All right, last thing that's trending is Roman Reigns.
It's probably because once again, WWE has gone through another bloody weekend. And so your next pay-per-view is going to be Roman Reigns just wrestling himself somehow because they're out of other people.
I don't know why he's trending, but some people still get mad when you say his name. So there we go.
Remind me to tell you a story about the kid at the hockey game last weekend that did every wrestler's intro to every wrestling song that played. Tell me people don't care about it. That's it for us, kids. We're back tomorrow to do it all over again. Faces and Heels tomorrow. Don't let me forget, Lonzo. On the Rob Brown Show, this is the Fan Upstate. Later, brother. All right, stream.